right, guys, we are here with the Outcast 4S on 6S. I have only run this car like once for like 5 minutes because I had an axle break, but I was very impressed with how it flew, so I figured let's just fix it, bring it back out, and see what she's got. Ooh, look at that, bro. First hit, over 100 feet. Nice. Look how good it, look how good it lands too, dude. That was 130 feet. I mean, it is on 6S, so it's not like we're doing this on stock system. Woo! Let's go, baby. Jesus. Haha. Wow, dude. That is oh, we broke something. Let's see what we broke. Shock rod in, a shock, because it's leaning to the left or left, I mean. Oh yeah, shock rod in. All right, guys, we are here with the Kagama 4 on 6S. I've ran this car before, done a dedicated video. The last time it was out, I had bent the Ackerman arm because I nose dove it real bad. So I fixed that and brought it back out because I thought, you know what? Both the Outcast and this are meant for 4S power. That's how they come. But what if you make them both 6S and then you run them back to back and see what the differences are? So let's get to it, man. Woo. There we go. We are right side up now. Oh, and my wing is under my body. Ooh, nose dove it again, dude. These are way more touchy. For some reason, out of the box, the brakes are just touchy. Like you barely touch the brake and it'll just nose down real quick. Nice. There we go. That was a nice little hit right there. Oh! Fuck. Oh my God. Seems to have stayed together. Can't even see the car. Oh my God. It landed on the side. Holy moly. There it goes. That weird. Okay, come on. Damn it. That was unexpected. Nice. It destroyed the two fronts. Awesome. I guess I'm putting skeeters on it real quick or something. I don't know. Let's go put some skeeters on it. Woo. Nice. Ooh, that was a good one. Damn it, turtle. There it is. It did it to me. Wow. Bro, I'll be surprised if this takes it much longer. It landed at 140 feet. Oh my God. Ooh. Well, that went pretty far. Oh. Wow, I saved the hell out of that. Wow, did I save the crap out of that. Ooh, I landed one corner first, I think, on that. I turned hard because it started to turn on me. Nice. So that was, yeah, right around 130 feet. Nice little fronty right there. Woo, that was nice, bro. That's the one thing, you know, I should have tried it on the Outcast. I know the Outcast will do front flips real easy. It does that. Oh, I got that one way wrong. I already see a tire not moving. I lost an axle. Did it break an out drive? Arm broke, and that's what I'm not seeing. Yeah, the arm broke. Ooh. There's that dead spot. Woo! There we go. God, I gotta remember the brake is touchy on this thing, dude. I used to have the same problem with the Spark. Nice. That landed right on the flag almost. Nice. What? Oh.
In the shadows they clash, two titans collide. The Outcast and Kagama, both ready to rise.
Oh, that was cool. I can't wait to see the other view of that. Woo! Let's go, baby. Nice. Nice. Woo! All right. Oh, this thing is towed in. I bet that Ackerman is bent again. Oh, the Ackerman on this. You know, it's weird because these things do steer very, very well. But I think it's because of the design of the Ackerman, but it's also why the Ackerman is a weak point. Like a double-edged sword, you know? Wow. Oh my God. There it is. Something broke. can't be the center diff. Hold on. Oh, it's the front diff. Oh, this popped out. Oh, okay. The stub axle broke. That's actually not that big of a deal. It's just this little stub section here that broke off. So, I mean, if I would have brought, I have some at home too. If I would have brought some with me, Ooh, that was weird, bro. It hit the brake on me by itself. I'm glad I reacted to that. It was headed straight for the freaking ground, dude. Let's go, baby. I like them Skeeters, man. Skeeters are a good combination of air control, ballooning, and durability. Oof. That was close. I shaved the ramp. Oh no. Yes. Oh! It landed real hard on the corner.
Yeah, I heard it.
Lost the dog bone. Broke the arm. All right, we made it back to the shop with the two 4S rigs that are both on 6S. So I thought about this, and I guess the first thing I wanted to do was explain how I made the 4S Outcast into a 6S. So basically, this is a Castle 6S ESC. I don't know the particular model because this was like extra in I have like a box with motors and ESCs and electronics and stuff that I just keep. And so I don't know what model it is exactly, but I know it's obviously a 6S ESC. But, so the way I got this to work was, this has basically the receiver box cover. The receiver box cover has two, sort of like two little notches or like little risers that come up that would normally be used to bolt the ESC to the receiver box cover. So what I did was I shaved down or sanded down, or I used my Dremel really and got rid of the two little things that stick up. And then I actually dremeled the rest of the top of the receiver box cover to make it like more rough instead of smooth. Then the two holes that were, because those two holes go through the receiver box into the receiver, or go through the receiver cover into the receiver box. They are what's meant to hold the stock ESC in place. So what I did was I removed those notches and then I shaved down the receiver box cover, and then I countersunk the two holes that were still there so that I can use the tapered bolts. So two tapered M3 bolts. That way, when I bolt the receiver box cover down onto the receiver box, the whole thing is flat and flush. Then I used alcohol swabs and I cleaned off the ESC and cleaned off the receiver box cover and double side taped the ESC to the receiver box. And it held really, really strong. I mean, I went through all the batteries that I went through, which was probably, I think it was like 4 batteries worth, because one of the bashes that which was very disappointing. I was so frustrated when I was editing this video. One of the batteries that, one of the runs that I did on the ramp is a battery's worth of bashing on the ramp. I never recorded because I pressed the button on my GoPro and thought I was recording when I was really not recording. So there's a whole battery's worth of bashing on this one that is just not on camera, which really, really, really frustrated me when I was editing, because I spent probably an hour and a half sifting through all of my video files because I swore that I recorded it, and obviously I didn't. But there's a little hole here. That's what I used to mount the on and off switch for the ESC, for the Castle ESC. I just put a bolt through it. Pretty straightforward. Then as far as the upgrades on this rig, I have the ZRS kit from M2C on all 4 corners. And then I have the motor plate upgrade. I have the tower-to-tower chassis brace, and I have the basher bar here underneath to keep this chassis together. And honestly, I don't think this chassis would last very long with the hits I'm putting on it without this chassis brace, or this basher bar, I guess you can call it. As far as the Kagama 4, this one's a little more straightforward because this is more or less a 6S rig. At least I would say this is closer to what Team Corrali would build if it was a 6S car than this is. So this one, all I did was remove the stock ESC, and then I double side taped and zip tied just to make sure 6S ESC on it. And then the rest is pretty much, it has a Curon 825 in it, but I think even the stock motor might even take 6S power. For how long, I'm not sure, but so anyway, this one's a little more straightforward. There's not really a whole lot you had to modify to get it to do, to have a 6S system in the 4S car. It does have a Perfect Pass monster servo on it. It is geared 18 and then stock spurs 46. This one, the gearing's a little weird. I believe I have a 19 or 20 tooth pinion on it, but the stock spur I believe is 57 or something like that. And then the gear ratio is a little weird on the because I think it's like a 13 tooth with like a 37 tooth ring with a 13 tooth pinion, something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. I did the math, or not did the math, but I have an app that you can use. You can put all your information in, and it'll give you an estimated speed. But anyway, so that's kind of how I did that, how I did this. But now as far as like, it's a 4S platform on 6S versus, right? So what would be my conclusion as far as, who would, kind of sort of win? And here's the thing. First of all, this is a stunt truck, and this is more like a truggy. So this is definitely completely different in terms of the track width and things like that. I think lengthwise they're about the same. I mean, you can see it right there. I put the tires next to each other. But as far as the width, this is obviously way wider, so it's meant to be a stunt truck, and this one's meant to be a truggy, more like a truggy. But they both are 4S, and they both have 6S transplants. And what I would say is, starting off with the Outcast, it's mostly plastic, just like the Kagama 4. So there's not a whole lot different there. Shock towers are plastic, they're integrated into the bulkheads. Shock towers are plastic, integrated into the bulkheads, so on and so forth. Stunt truck, truggy. But I think the Outcast, to me, did better than I thought it was gonna do. This thing actually sat on my shelf for probably 6 months with the stock 4S system in it. I just didn't believe in this platform enough to really even try to put a 6S system in it and try to make it, jump at a decent distance. But I came up with the idea to shave that lid down, the receiver box lid down, and then I put the 6S system in it, and it actually flew really good. So I was surprised, and then I was like, wow, okay, this can actually really be a lot of fun. But I feel like the 4S Outcast, you really do, you have to buy the upgraded tower-to-tower chassis brace, because the tower-to-tower stock one, it'll either break off at the ears, because the stock one has like a little connector here where it like screws into the main bar, and you have to have that basher bar underneath, because I guarantee you, if you try to send this thing 140, 150 feet like I just did, okay, and you don't have these upgrades, you will break this chassis in half. I know I've done it. I've done it countless times. My wife has done it on a stock car just at the park. If you land just the right way enough times, you'll break these chassis in half. So for me, it's like, it's not that it's not amazing, because honestly, I was very surprised. It's not that it's not a badass setup once you have the setup right. It's that you have to have the setup right, and you have to upgrade certain things before you can send it the way that I do. Now, does that mean that it's necessarily better? Not necessarily, because if you weren't sending it 140 feet or 130 feet or whatever, then you probably could have the same amount of upgrades and not necessarily need them. It would be sort of overly engineered. So for sure, if you did all the modifications I did to this one, and then you went to like a skate park or something like that, this thing would be stupid amazing, dude. Like, as long as you're not doing these massive hits, I think it would be perfect. And I think it would last, you know, it would be very, very durable. But here's my thing. I think the Kagama 4 is probably the best basher you can buy, bar none. Creighton, Kagama, 6, Asuga, name it, this thing. And I know it's gonna be controversial, but I know there's gonna be a lot of guys that are gonna disagree with me. But here's the thing. This car, I have Typhon springs on it because I don't like the stock springs. I think are too stiff. I have 6S rear diff on the back so that it gives me the spring steel out drives. Obviously, I have the 8BL 150 from Hobby Wing and the Curon 825, which, by the way, I want to put a Castle 2200 kV in it, and I want to keep this ESC, but I want to buy the battery tray that ADU makes for this so that I can make this whole thing clean and clean it all up. But here's the thing. For one, the rear arms are compatible with a Typhon. That's what's on it right now. So worst case scenario, you break a rear arm, you can buy a Typhon rear arm for super, super cheap on Amazon, have it in a day or two, and fix your rear arm and get back to bashing. So there's already a thing there where like you have some cross compatibility with other Arma models, which gives you more repair solutions. Now, the other thing is this thing is on an aluminum chassis, but I haven't had to fix this chassis. It didn't bend on me like. So, for example, my most upgraded 6S rigs from Arma, the chassis bend even with all the upgrades. Now, that's more of the fault of the ramp, and I've talked about that before, because that ramp is really, really rough on the initial hit. When these cars first hit the ramp, if you watch in slow motion, the front end hits, and then the rear end hits, and the rear end bounces off the ramp until it goes up the rest of the ramp, and then it takes off. So the back end of this car is hitting really, really hard on that ramp, and they're all doing it. And it's bending all of my chassis, which is one of the reasons why I'm gonna be changing my ramp pretty soon. Totally different subject, but here's the bottom line. Everything on this car holds up to extreme bashing, okay, without having to upgrade it. Plastic shock standoffs, plastic bulkheads, plastic shocks. It's got the like aluminum cap, but really it's a plastic shock standoff and a shock tower. The wing mount is integrated into the shock tower, which makes the wing mount not so damn easy to break. All of my Asugas and all of my Kagamas break the wings off, the wing mounts off. What else? Like, you can put the arms off of a Spark. If you want a more durable arm, you can change out the arms and put the Spark arms on them. I've verified that with Team Crowley. So the thing is that the chassis bracing on this car holds up better than even the most upgraded Arma or Team Corrali car I have. It's stock bracing, and it hasn't broken, it hasn't cracked. My Asuga breaks all the bracing, you know, and you have to basically upgrade it all so that you don't break it, you know. But this is all stock bracing, you know. The upgraded servo is for the reason of having, you know, more responsive steering, and the rear diff, you know, but essentially you put some springs on it, you tune the diffs to your liking, you know, if you want 1 million, 20 million, 500,000, whatever in your center diff, and whatever you want front and rear, those are things that you do to all the RCs, okay? But you can get this ESC from almost any Amazon, A-Main or Horizon. You can get this ESC for $70, okay? You can go on somewhere on the internet and find a used Curon 825, or even go on Jenny's RC and get an 825 Curon, you know, or maybe get a Hobby Star 2250 kV, I think it is what they make, for super cheap on Amazon, okay? Gear it 18, 17, maybe even 15 to the stock 46, and you basically have a 6S rig that's tougher than almost everything else I own. Does that mean it's like my favorite? You know, does it mean it's the best one that I have? Not really, because there's other ones that I have that I really enjoy bashing. But what I'm saying is if you are on a budget, you have the least amount of money possible, and you want to get the most amount of bash possible, you buy a 4S Kagama roller, put a 2200 kV motor, put a 6S ESC on it. I don't know if they actually sell a roller Kagama 4, but if they do, get a roller, 6S ESC, 8BL150 from Hobby Wing, okay, 70 bucks. Get a 2200 kV motor. If you really want, get a Castle 1515 2200 kV motor. Put 1 million weight in the center diff. Put I put 1 million weight in the center diff, 500,000 in the rear, and 1 million in the front. Sounds like extreme, but trust me, you do that, okay? Get some Typhon springs, throw them on there, and then get the ADU battery tray to fix this issue with the ESC and all that. But I mean, after all is said and done, dude, this thing will be an absolute beast of a car. You don't have to upgrade the chassis bracing. You don't have to upgrade the chassis. You don't have to upgrade the shock standoffs. You don't have to upgrade the shock towers. You don't have to upgrade the freaking diffs and the diff housings and the list goes on and on and on when it comes to most of these other 6S rigs. This thing, you pretty much leave it stock and just tune everything out, add the extra power and the motor, change the gearing, and send it, okay? And so for me, this thing is the one basher that I don't have to do really anything to. Everything else I get, at some point, I just start all over because everything breaks. So anyway, I'm being long-winded because that's how I am, but stay tuned, guys. Again, these are just my opinions. I'm not saying I know better than anybody. There's a ton of guys out there who have been doing it longer than I have, but I just strongly believe this is the best basher you can buy for the money. And so that's what I think, and that's just my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. But stay tuned, guys. I am working on the Kasuga. I think all I have left is the receiver to put on it, and then I can start running it. And then I've got a chassis on the way for the Creighton because I'm starting to believe that the issue I'm having with the Creighton, which I already have some footage, but I haven't finished that video because I want to do a chassis transplant and see if it does the same thing. If it doesn't, or even if it does, I will put that video out and I will show you guys the problem I ran into and what the possible solution is. So stay tuned. We got some more stuff in the works. I still want to do the Typhon versus the Spark video, but I'm in the middle of rebuilding the Spark and I don't want to run the Typhon until I've got both rebuilt and both ready to go with spare parts on hand, so I can go out, send them, get the footage, get everything done, and give you guys the results. So thanks again for watching, guys. For all those who have subscribed, I really, really appreciate it. I think it's amazing that anyone just sits there and watches me play with toys. It's a little bit weird to me sometimes to think about it, but I mean, that's kind of why we do it, right? So thanks again, guys, for watching. I will see you on the next one. Keep on bashing.